Hari Om. Welcome to With the Guru, a journey into Vedanta.
As a Navy person into joining the spiritual realm. So where did it begin with?
From the childhood, you are put in an environment. That environment is due to Prarabdha. We never know what are we going to be.
So it is nothing to do with actually leaving your family and going and necessarily taking the spiritual realm. What was your next journey that you started with learning Vedanta?
Go for sannyasa. Sannyasa means, it's a maturity. You have to become a matured person.
2 times the calling in you.
So it's a city which is very secretive. The Kashi with Ganges, which is established in the Lalita Ghat and Smasana ground. So I thought, okay, seva is not enough.
Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha, Sri Matre Namaha. Welcome to the channel Arshathesupreme, the Supreme. I am Mangesh Vaidya, an ardent seeker like all of you. In our day-to-day life, we are constantly engaged with our own challenges and our own problems, both at work, business, family, friends, relatives, and more critical when they are financial in nature. We seek to get answers to our problems. We strive hard to actually look for happiness around us and moments of joy and peace. The question therefore arises, what shall alleviate our problems? Being a religious person, being a yoga or a meditation buff, being a Vastu and astrology compulsive compliant, or should we become the seeker to understand the true foundation of spirituality, which has a strong foundation in our Sanatan Dharma, and get an insight and a key to the true happiness? Today, it's my honor to be with in the august presence of the head of Arsha Vidya Foundation, Trichy, Param Pūjya Sri Swami Guhatmananda Saraswati. As we shall embark on this profound conversation, I would like to set the stage by acknowledging the rich tapestry of spirituality that has been woven over millennia. From the ancient wisdom of the Vedas and Upanishads to the diverse practices and philosophies that have evolved over time, spirituality remains a vital force in human existence. Swamiji embodies a profound wisdom rooted in yoga abhyasa, guiding seekers towards self-realization. His meditation techniques deepen self-awareness and connect practitioners who can understand the world and the universe around them. Through Srividya Upasana, he illuminates the path to the divine feminine. His insights to Vedanta unveil the essence of reality. Coupled with Vedic astrology and principles of Advaita, Swamiji's teachings offer a holistic approach to ancient Indian sciences and spiritual disciplines as what should be our true Sanatana Dharma foundation. Let us all welcome Swamiji for this conversational program that we are embarking on to enable seekers like me and many others to look for questions that we all look for the answers. With this, the series of question and answer shall continue till we are satisfied with many more questions to get answered from Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji, for accepting our invitation and coming to this program to give us your valuable guidance. Harihi Om. Thank you.
Swamiji, welcome to the show, and we are all waiting to listen to you very, very patiently for the coming many questions that are going to come. Thank you, Swamiji, for being with us. Over to you, Swamiji.
Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Jaya Narayani Namostute Shri Narayani Namostute. Om Sarvebhyo Sadgurubhyo Namo Namaha. With Mother Rajarajeshwarita Mahatripura Sundari Bara Bhattarika, we got an opportunity to have a different kinds of conversation today. Any conversations should have two corners, isn't it? So when somebody wants to know something, he initiates that urge in the form of question. Then the other person, one who answers, he uses his experiences with his knowledge. Now, as you reminded my Purvashrama, yes, it was blessings to be born in that family, I would say. Because when we talk about spirituality, there is one name which is called Bhakti. Bhakti means it's a greatest thing. Entire Vedic life is paved or established upon Bhakti. I would give definition for Bhakti in simple way, which we are going to see in future. Bhakti means it's a kind of conversation which is absolutely one-side conversation. One-side conversation. Just we speak with the Almighty, which we call it God. In Sanskrit we say Ishvara like. Now this conversation, I see, it's a conversation which is for Lokasangraha, I would say. Because you are studying Vedanta for more than 5 years now, and you know what are the answers of Vedanta which establishes, and from Srividya also. This conversation which we begin now, it is a kind of Lokasangraha, what I consider. Having said this, I remember my family. My family is endowed with Desha Bhakti and Ishvara Bhakti. So Bhakti means what? It's a kind of conversation from one side. So Desha is to be understood as a God for us. Only in Bharata Desha we give much importance. Bhakti means we also understand as a sacrifice from one side. Sacrificing life. So my grandfather was a major in Indian Army. From the childhood, I could see him as a very perfect person who used to practice Desha Bhakti. And from my mother's side, my mother's father means a maternal grandfather. He is more endowed with Vedic life and Vedanta. There, I could see that Ishvara Bhakti. These two things, because of my prarabdha, this I'm using a technical terms, prarabdha. Prarabdha means which we are born with certain karma phala of the previous janma. So I consider it as my good prarabdha which brought me into these two mainstreams of life. From the childhood, all kinds of Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and the scriptures and Lalita Sahasranama. So I was brought up with the Desha Bhakti and Ishvara Bhakti. Therefore, now I could correlate and connect with the Vedantic knowledge. Everybody who is born in this place, in this planet Earth, they are called a Jiva. But their stream is begun already. Like that, I was not aware I would come as a sannyasi. But this astrology began with my birth. When after my birth, within 1 or 2 months, my Kundali was predicted. My Janma Patrika was made. And that astrologer, who was a great and old, he was 92 years old. He said, this boy is going to be sannyasi.
But Swamiji,
Yeah.
your life, that what you started as a young boy, and you have been moving as a young boy to a young adult, and then at a peak of your adulthood, as they say, in your early 20s, what was that moment of truth that hit you, which you made a choice to move to become a sannyasi? So if you could throw some light on this journey of you moving out to become a sannyasi.
When that astrologer said, this boy is going to be a sannyasi, totally, they didn't reveal to me. Because I was a kid, thereafter also, nowhere I was informed that I would become sannyasi. Therefore, what happened? Due to prarabdha, I was brought up in such a way to more as a materialistic person, mostly means Desha Bhakti. So Ishwar Bhakti was introduced, but not sannyasa life was introduced. And I completed my studies and I joined in Navy, as you people know. What happens once, we had a conference in Dayānanda, Masur. After the one-day session, my colleague who wanted to visit Rishikesh, Himalayan mountain, I said I denied. I was not interested to go to Rishikesh. But he insisted me, let us go and see. You know that you can see Ganga's flow. Then I said, okay, I would come today. We went to the Rishikesh. When I went to Rishikesh, my God, something had happened. When I looked at Himalayas and Ganga flow, Ganga means knowledge. Ganga means, because in India, all lives of Vaidika styles are connected with the rivers. Therefore, we have the shloka. Gange Jayamune Cheva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sandha Kaveri Jalesman Sannabhim Kuru. The 7 rivers are considered the flow of knowledge. There are 2 kinds of knowledge. Even we are going to discuss. Ganga is considered to be a Vedantic knowledge. The flow of Ganga, which by after dipping when which her blessings is going to be a Vedantic knowledge. But when you go to Narmada, it gives a Yogic Shakti. Yogic Shakti. These 2 rivers are most precious river in India. In south, of course, Tamrakarani is there, Kaveri is there. But these rivers, when I saw the Ganga, I think now I can say that I got connected with my previous Janma sadhanas. Completely something had happened. From the next day, the friend started saying that what happened to you, become a different person. But I was kept on thinking. I felt it was my home. It was my lifestyle. When I looked at a sannyasi, I felt at home. And I went and I started interacting with him. And he was a sannyasi from Madhya Pradesh. We had a nice conversation. And that boy who took me, means my colleague, he got bored because we spoke for hours. Then he was completely, he was snatching me from him and we got back. Thereafter we went to Bangalore. Within a month, I left much. Join in mission. Ramakrishna.
So in a way, Swamiji, it looks that your visit to Mussoorie, Dehradun, and then subsequently your friend taking you to the place of most revered in our institute of spirituality, which is Rishikesh, the calling happened. As they say, there is sometimes what is called a calling that happens to a person, and he just moves on to take the most difficult decision in the life, that is to give up his materialistic pursuit and move himself or herself into the world of spiritual realm. So this is where, Swamiji, you moved on from the life what you had as a Navy person into joining the spiritual realm. So where did it begin with?
No, that's what I said, because all samskaras were, it was already was there in my stream of life. You know that samskara, the word, when from the childhood you are put in an environment, that environment is due to prarabdha. It is said in Sanskrit, Shubhair apnoti devatvam dukhair narakim tam. Ubhabhyam punya papabhyam manushyam labhate narah. This shloka is from Naishkarmya Siddhi. It says, when you are born, that itself is an evidence that you are a mixer of both, punya and papa. So these punya and papas are technical terms from Vedanta. But when we are born, we never know what are they going to be. We never know. Nobody knows. But the name from, he gets all the data from the families. Father gives name, parents give name. We get to know with a group, like a parents, siblings, friends and relatives and everything. All of them will set a small goal. Once you become 7 or 8 year old, we start enjoying our individuality. The life begins from there. When I got to know my individuality, and from that time, I was very curious about śāstra. Whenever the classes were happening in my house, I was very curious. Usually I was not allowed to sit there, but I was curious. Because I was asked to focus on my studies. But as we listen, it develops a samskara. One day, suddenly it popped up. After, visiting of Rishikesh, it took 1 month for me to make a decision. And I thought, okay, so this is the life which is prescribed by Indian rishis or ancient rishis. Then I started studying. The journey began from Ramakrishna Mission, and I learned how to do seva. That itself is a great learning. Actually speaking, our educational system in India, what we are coming through, it is created by invaders. British style, in which the zero knowledge is given about our ancient studies. But fortunately, I learned what is seva. That seva, you have to learn to seva, because any activity you perform, you do, you boost your ego. But seva, it reduces your ego. So when you are willing to do seva, you should be very careful. There is a technical which has to be learned a lot. This is how I learned seva. So after learning seva, after a certain period of time, after I think 11 years, so I got an opportunity to study Vedanta.
So, Swamiji, it is like you have been doing this seva for 11 long years. It is like giving yourself to the service above your self-life. Only when you dedicate it beyond your self-ego, the seva really gets culminated into something which is fruitful for others. So, 11 years that you did that, as you said just now, that after 11 to 12 years of your being in Ramakrishna Mission, you moved on to really take on to the Vedantic learning. But the question always comes to a common person who is endowed with his day-to-day life and his day-to-day challenges that he faces. Does it really mean that if you want to understand spirituality, pursue the world of spirituality, you need to leave your house and go to achieve this? Is that what spirituality is all about?
No, actually for this, I would like to give some kind of inputs for you. So it's for more clarity. You think about Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a profound Vedantic text. If anybody wants to pursue Vedanta means Bhagavad Gita is the supreme book for them. Now you think about the student of Bhagavad Gita and the Acharya of Bhagavad Gita. Student who was a king, Acharya was also king. What I mean to say, they were not sannyasis. And even you look at Upanishadic teaching and all, the sannyasa word itself, it is to be understood much. So direct answer is need not. One need not to leave the family. But our free will, it allows, that's what is Sanatana Dharma's glory. You can make decision about yourself. Nobody will come and ask. Even family members, if you are making the decision to lead your life as a sannyasi, or if you are sacrificing yourself for the nation. So sannyasa means the direct meaning is to give up. Not actually what to give up. If we know the real meaning, because when you look at a sannyasi, you immediately start thinking that what about his family? Because in my family, brothers, we were two. My younger brother is also there. But there are families, only one son. That one son leaves the family and goes to his seekers. Is it right or not? And is it an insecure situation or what?
So Swamiji, it actually what comes out here in your conversation here now is that sannyasa is a vritti. So it is nothing to do with actually leaving your family and going and necessarily taking the spiritual realm and understanding it in that fashion. Without having left your family, being a sansari, being in the life that you are endowed with, you can still understand spirituality and follow spirituality.
Yes.
One doesn't have to therefore leave the family and go. One can still continue to be in a family realm and still pursue the spirituality that everybody is seeking for.
No, that is what our Sanatana Dharma gives room and space for you to make the decision.
So where did you move on from here, Swamiji? Though you left your family and went for 11 plus years in Ramakrishna Mission, what was your next journey that you started with learning Vedanta?
No, that is what I said, when you make a decision, I would like to learn a lot. At that time, I didn't have any intention to go for sannyasa. Okay. Sannyasa means, it's a maturity. You have to become a matured person. So, one more point I wanted to mention here. Our Sanatana Dharma gives a space to every individual to make the decision. But it is to be taught how to make the decision. Now, you see, when I decided to go to this, I had a background already. I went and met the sannyasi of that Acharya, means Ramakrishna Mission, Swamiji. I told everything, I feel like this. What he suggested was, you be here for 6 months. Or just, continue be here for 2 weeks, let me see. And after 2 weeks, we had interaction. He asked the question, what do you feel now? And I said, no, I feel good, very nice. So do you feel, should you go to back? Should you go to your home? And I said, no, not necessary. I have told it. Now, he was checking my, strength of decision. Am I strong enough? Then slowly, after 6 months, he himself said, we can start, we can learn Vedanta. This is how it begins. The Sanatana Dharma gives a space, but one should give the knowledge and background to make the decision. First of all, for that you should know what is life, what is the goal of life. So after leaving the family, what am I going to do? Because family means, according to Shastra, it is not bandhana. It's a kartavya. Shastra never denies. One has to do. Actually, Shastra insists you should not quit your duty. Therefore, Krishna's message to Arjuna was, indeed, one should continue with his kartavya. But the same Sanatana Dharma gives space to make the sannyasa, to go towards the sannyasa house. But what differs? Because Arjuna was practicing 14 years for that fight. Suddenly something happened, you want to quit. It was not good. Because if at all he takes sannyas, he wants to continue as a bhiksha life, a life which is completely dependent on alms. He cannot, because he was not prepared for it. Internally, he was not prepared for it. Therefore, internal growth is a very important thing. Because I would precisely say, sannyasa means, it's a complete spiritual life. But you require to know what is the definition for spirituality. Now, spirituality means it's a inner journey to get Purnatva. So now inner journey, to set the inner journey, you should have the corners, you should have a sadhanas, process, it's a kind of process. That process has to be introduced by Pur. Before that, you should be aware about what are the goals of the life. If I am continuing in the families, I have to do these things. I have rights and I have space also to make the decision to go for a sannyas. If I am going for the sannyasa, leaving the home, it depends on my clarity. One should have the clarity to make the decision. The clarity only comes by Shastra.
So, Swamiji, this is how you moved on, and your initial period, as you said, the service was above yourself, and that is where you learned a very big ego managing by doing service in Ramakrishna Mission. How that ego management was learnt over there. But where was the journey of Vedanta started? Where did you really end up with your gurus, where you were taught about Vedanta? And then, as we all know that you are a very profound teacher in Srividya Upasana. So, we would like to know a little more about that journey before we embark into our series of questions that all the seekers are looking forward for answers.
Yeah. See, as I learned in Ramakrishna Mission, it is a very special procedure is there. You should be learning, actually you have to learn everything. So you will be given the responsibility for cleaning. The first duty which was given to me, to clean the floor. As I was a Navy officer, should I clean the floor? I was not at all, means I would say that comfortable with that. I was hesitating for that. And the Swamiji said, you should know that yogaha karmasu kaushal. I started practicing like that. Those sevas, they are the secrets. Those sevas, when you do the seva, not thinking about superiority, inferiority, whatever the work is worship. You should know how to adapt yourself perfectly with that work. This made, it gave a kind of chitta shuddhi, the fruit. Then slowly I got environment. I was fortunate enough to meet Swami Omkarananda. So I thought, okay, seva is not enough. So one should know what is to be known. And I got Omkarananda, so who was a great scholar and a great Brahmagna. Then my Vedantic life began with Pūjya Swamiji. Then from Omkarananda I reached Swami Dayānanda Saraswati, who is my guru, who has given sannyasa, and who is a great Acharyas. For me, he is Isha. So this is how my Vedanta began.
So, Swamiji, Arsha Vilasam Foundation, which is based out of Trichy, and Arsha Vilasam Foundation's branch, which is there in Thane, and what we are sitting today with Arsha Vilasam Supreme, the channel where we are bringing to the commoner, every seeker, answers to their questions, is a foundation which is blessed by none other than Pūjya Dayānanda Saraswati. So, you as a disciple of Pūjya Dayānanda Saraswati, that you started with this journey on Vedanta and teaching Vedanta to people, both in Rishikesh and subsequent to other many locations. How did you embark into your journey as a Srividya Upasana?
Yes, actually, I completed first Vedanta course with Swami Omkarananda. It was from Theni. It is in Tamil Nadu. Then I wanted to study more Sanskrit because a language, the language which is I'm talking about Sanskrit, a language which doesn't have decay, because even now people are realizing the Sanskrit can be the meta language. It is the meta language for even computer things, all kinds of AI things in future. So I wanted to complete the Sanskrit study, Panini Yoga Sutras, Panini Sutras. Panini, there are 4,000 sutras. Therefore, I wanted to go to Rishikesh. I got permission with Swamiji and I went to Rishikesh, Swami Dayānanda ashram. I continued under Swami Dayānanda Saraswati for 3 more years into Vedanta itself. Thereafter, I got an Acharya. So that Acharya who used to stay in Rishikesh, my Sanskrit studies began. But in between what happened, he went to Kashi, Varanasi. He didn't come back. Therefore, I had to go to Varanasi for my Sanskrit studies. I kept on doing a Sanskrit effort. So my routine was, every day morning 4:30, I used to dip in Ganges in Varanasi. One day what happened, I could see many students with Acharya. They were practicing something. I was very curious about it because they were having Shri Chakra in their hand and they were doing so many Kunkumarchana. After the Kunkumarchana, somebody was initiated with the Guru. I was just kept on saying. It was not for one day. 3 days continuously they were coming. The 4th day I asked, what is it? Then he said, who are you? Where are you from? So he asked about me and I narrated I am from so. He asked me to come to their Arsha, their place, their Arsha. I said, okay, I would come in the evening. And the evening, I went looking for that place. I was not able to find. Then I was not able to find. Then the next day, he caught me again in the Ganges itself. With, a kind of annoyed face. He said, why don't you come? Why didn't you come yesterday? I said, no, I came, but I was not able to see any ashram. Then he said, ashram is not outside. Ashram was inside. And he gave again, he said his name. Ask Yogi Ma, come. And I asked, I went, it was a house. In the house, when I entered into that, there was a lady who was looking like a mother itself. And he said, who are you? The voice which came from her, it was like, I used to, it was a kind of some transformation. So I didn't believe actually all this transformation, vibrations, all these things I didn't believe. Because I was studying other studies, I became Navy officer and all. So something, it was strange experience. And I asked him, so the Acharya asked me to come. Which Acharya? By the time that person came, whose name was Kashikandanath. He said, Acha, come, Aja. It was a typical Bengali accent. And I said, oh, why should I be here? I said, no, sit here. And now the puja is about to begin. The puja started. That Yogi Ma, she came on stage, started doing. It was a miracle. I would say that I could see, because being a South Indian, we used to go to temples. In our place also, we conduct lots of yagas, homas. But this puja, which was really, I would say that, something, some existence of some divinity, I could feel. I was stunned. So it went up 4 hours. And I also didn't get bored. Because I was looking all mudras and all other students also, they were chanting seriously mantras. So after the puja, I said, what did you feel? I said, no words. So I would like to learn this. He looked at me and laughed. We want to learn what? No, that's this puja. Then you should join in with us. And they introduced the course of Srividya. This is how it began.
Wonderful, Swami. This is something which is very interesting, that Ganges, Mother Ganga, actually brought in 2 times the calling in you. The first time when you were a Navy officer, you just went there to Rishikesh, you took a dip into the Ganges in Ganga, and then you had the calling that something is missing, and you moved on to become a seva for seva in Rishikesh. You actually moved on to Calcutta, where you joined the Ramakrishna mission with that first calling to become the sevakari there, and you learned the seva as a prime thing that you should do in your life. And the second time you had this calling when you went again, after having been with Pūjya Swamiji, Dayānanda Swamiji, you went back into Varanasi. Again the same Ganga gave you the second calling to learn Srividya Upasana. So this has been a journey where we now know where did you really bring in this concept of Srividya Upasana that you have been teaching also to your devotees and to the students. So from here onwards, how did you move on to be in Trichy, from where now the Arsha Vidya Vilasam Foundation is being operated out of, and your place of abode is what we would like to know. After which, yes, as I said, seekers are all waiting now to see from where are we going to begin the wonderful learning of many questions that are coming in our list of questions that are already given to us. So how did you move on to Trichy?
See that to complete Srividya, it took 4 years. I used to be in Kashi for 6 months, and I used to go back to Rishikesh because my guru also had given certain duties. But I could see that the shunting Rishikesh to Varanasi, Varanasi to Rishikesh, I consider, these both Ganges are very different. Varanasi city, it is believed that it is not on the earth. It is believed that. Do you know that?
Yes.
It is upon the Trishul. It is said to be like that. The Kashi Mahatmya talks about Kashi. Kashi is the city which deals with death positively. So it's a city which is very secretive and which has got abundance of secrets in it. Till now. So when you go to the Kashi with Ganges, it looks so beautiful. You are attracted by the outside scenarios, sceneries. And now the mandir, the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir, which is established in the Lalita Ghat and Smasana ground. It is in the Smasana. So he is a Smasana Vashi. Therefore, this mandir and Ganges and these scenes will attract it. But if you want to really enjoy the Kashi, real Kashi, you have to live there. You have to deep dive into you. Then you will be able to connect the underneath Kashi. I would say that. Therefore, that stream, when it started happening, I completed my Shad Darshanas over there. I completed entire Sanskrit, which is in the both form. It is in the form of Siddhanta Kaumadi and Kashikananda Vritti. It's a beautiful work by our ancient rishis. I completed Śrī Vidyā also. And thereafter I went back to Swamiji. Swamiji said, you should have your own setup. At that time, I was having students from all over the world. Means American students from Chile, not from Chile, or Brazil. So there were a few students. They wanted me to come to the Brazil. They had bought 2 acres land for ashrama. Then we had a plan. I told them, you go and ask Swami, because Guru has to decide. There's a relationship between Guru and Sishya. it is, I tell you, really, really, it is marvelous already. Because the Guru Shishya relationship is far, far better. Even, I would consider the relationship between devotee and God. The relationship between devotee and God is very, very important because, God elevates. But for that, you should have a good rapport with your Guru. That relationship, that bandhan, I don't say bandhan, but in Hindi we say bandhan bolte hain, means bandhan. The parties also they say gadbandhan. Like the bond you have with Guru, you have to have the complete sarnagati. Then Guru thinks and he will make a decision for you. When these people requested, Swamiji didn't reply at all. But they kept on trying. Thereafter, I didn't know what Swamiji said to them. They become silent. And I asked them, what happened? No, Swamiji will sleep. Then Swamiji was there for 3 months. He didn't utter a single word about it. I didn't also ask because I was waiting for his sandesha. But he didn't say anything. And he started because he comes once in a year for 3 months. Completed to Dayānanda. When he was about to get into the car, I went and I stood. I looked at him. He said, what? Nothing. Okay. But I closed the door, he went. I was totally, confused. Thereafter, the third day, I got a mail. So, you are not going to Brazil. That's all. The second day, he said you are going to Trichy. Because then I got a call from him. He said, you are well versed in English and Tamil. So the Tamil Nadu requires now, you are kind of you people, you have to go there.
So
how I got there, and he insisted, means he actually suggested to establish a Arsha Vidyananda Foundation.
So, Swamiji, we are very blessed that you actually moved to Trichy and not to Brazil. Had you gone to Brazil, probably we would have been left with no one to guide us in this lifespan that we are living with you today. So, we are very blessed that we are with you and we are moving ahead under your guidance. Swamiji, we will now be moving into the next phase of our conversation, where we will now take the different questions that are being asked by many of our devotees and seekers around the world. And we do look forward that this is where our journey will really start shaping up, when we actually get the answers from you as our guiding factor for leading our life. To begin with, whatever you have been giving us in the last 5 years as our Vedantic understanding, we all are living with 6 afflictions, as they say. We are all having ignorance in our life that we are endowed with, as what they say, avidya, as what you have always told us. We also have this something called our identification with our ego, which is what we call as asmita. Definitely, needless to say, we all are having our own attachment to our materialistic life. Very difficult to give up that. And then also, we live with our dveshas. We have some hatred. We have our dislikes, which we keep on holding to it. Apart from all this, the last one, which is the most important one, which you have been giving us the inputs, is we are always living our life. We are always living our life with nothing but fear. Fear of losing, fear of death. So these 5 afflictions which we all are living with makes a common person's life a very challenging one as to how does he or she addresses these 5 afflictions, and how do we really go about handling these afflictions in our life. And this is where the very first question comes. Swamiji, what is the importance of Guru in our life? Is a Guru essential in our life? And who is a Guru? From where do we find a Guru? So can you please throw an enlightenment from your side about the word Guru and what is the importance of Guru in our life?
See, the definitions of Guru are given in Shastra. So before going to the Shastra, I would like to throw some lights on selecting the Guru. Actually, the truth is, disciple cannot select a Guru. Many people are not aware. But people also select, I have selected him as a Guru. Who are you to select? So Guru selects disciple. That is what, Shishya can approach. Shishya can approach. But the acceptance, it's from Guru. The acceptance comes from the, it is called anugraha. It is called anugraha. Actually, Shastra says, who can be Guru? Who is Guru? Who is Guru? There are many definitions. The supreme definitions comes from Adi Shankaracharya. He gives very profound verses. There are 2 verses in which he completely says that who can be the Guru, who is, and Upanishad also says, Shrotriyam Brahmanittham. Actually, in this modern era, nobody wants to listen to others because they are intellectual enough and they have more technology development now. So in everybody's hands, there is a world in the mobile. They deal with the world. So previously it was not like that. One should move, one should approach. Adi Shankara travelled up to Omkareshwar to reach a Guru. And the unique characters which are introduced in our Shastra, that itself is, it gives tremendous importance for Guru. Now you think about, again I am coming to the Bhagavad Gita. So who become Guru for Bhagavad Gita means a friend. And Arjuna and Krishna were thick friends. And the Gurutva, what we call it, Gurutva means Upadesha. One who does Upadesha, he is called Guru. Anybody can be Guru. Now friend, Arjuna never would have thought that my friend can be my Guru. But he became Guru because that environment decides. The first secret, Shishya cannot select Guru. The second step is that Shishya has to identify Shishyatvam. You should become Shishya in your inner journey, means in your inner construction, I would say. So you should prepare to be a Shishya. When the Shishyatvam is identified, Guru appears in front of you with the acceptance. Sometimes, like Adi Shankara who travelled to seek the Guru, it happens. And sometimes Guru also appears. You think about Dattatreya. For him, 32 Gurus or something, it is said to be. Like that Guru is a Tattva. Tattva means what? It's not a concept. It's a Tattva. It's a reality which is existing everywhere. Because Almighty who comes in the form of Guru. Therefore we call it Dakshinamurti is a Guru. Lord Shiva has become a Dakshinamurti. Therefore, when Shishyatvam is experienced, Guru will appear. This is, having said this, how to improve myself, how to elevate myself means, therefore you require these rituals, sadhana, mantra japa, everything. Now when anybody, I require a Guru, if anyone thinks like that, definitely this Prakriti, the nature helps him. The data are provided to him. Inputs are being provided.
So Swamiji, what our viewers are going to really understand from this is that if you are a true seeker, if you have the inner voice which is ready to surrender, with that feeling, if anybody approaches, the divinity will finally play a role of ensuring that he will be guided with a Guru in his life. Even though if one says, as you very rightly said, that I will choose my guru, we do have certain understanding on scriptures which are given by somebody which people are promoting, that you should test your guru. So, the Shishya testing the guru is something which is being said by many people. How far is it really true? How can a Shishya actually test a guru? Where the seeker, when he goes with a feeling of surrendership, the guru will automatically appear in front of him. So, where does this statement come from, that one should test one's guru and then only become a Shishya of a guru? Is it really true?
No, actually, it's a misconception, but I would make it very clear. See, when you want to surrender to someone, that your mind should get ready for it. So, when I would like to surrender, the Saranagati is not a decision, Magesh. It's not a decision. You cannot make the decision, I am going to surrender to. I am going to surrender to Almighty. It cannot be in the form of decision. You cannot decide to surrender, because surrendering nothing but giving up the capacity or this idea of making decision. Are you able to understand what I say?
Yes, interesting, Swamiji.
So when you decide, you become the author. You should leave, you should give up the decision making itself.
A very profound thought you have given, Swamiji. I am very happy that this conversation, a very most difficult part of one's life, has been brought out by you in a very simple manner, that the very fact of decision making, once you give up, is actually surrender. When you try to say that I surrender, you are already made up a decision, and when you make a decision, obviously you are not surrendering. The decision making power is what we say is what we need to understand. What is the difference between surrendering and what is the difference between making a decision to surrender? There is a subtle difference between the two.
No,
very interesting.
I have to complete that, because making decision is a very important job. Because when you are born in this society, you got certain duties to be followed. So every duty when you pick up, it is, it requires a small decisions. Life is full of making decisions. But Sharanagati doesn't come under it. Sharanagati happens.
Sharanagati happens.
But still you will make the decision. But Sharanagati, where it is not dependent on your decision, it had happened already. So you need not even require to accept it. Sharanagati happened, I accept it. No. Sharanagati happened means that's it. You are accepted. You are accepted means you are actually coming under into the blessings, anugraha of Ishvara. Ishvara who actually comes in the form of Guru. So, Daivam Manusha Rupena. There is a saying that. So, when you find someone who can elevate you from where you are, from your sufferings, you automatically surrender. The surrendering happens. Therefore, should we have the Guru? It was the first question you asked.
It's the question.
Should we have the
And what is the definition when we say?
Should we have the Guru? Okay, right. I will put in another way. Can we have knowledge without Guru? We can have the knowledge without a Guru. But you require some other brain. Any knowledge here, when you want to learn something, you require a Guru. You are sent to the schools and teachers, they started teaching that always knowledge transfer head to head. At least for preliminary thing, you have to make it. It's like cooking. So when you started, when you were learning, fire, already ingredients and all things you may know, but you should know how to make them as a recipe. So when you started learning, after a while, when you become thorough with normal cooking, then you can start inventing new dishes also. So like that, when you initiate your life into spirituality, you require a Guru. It is not mandatory even. A Prakriti can be a Guru. Who can be the Guru means anyone can be the Guru. Even Adi Shankara met with Chandala. He became Guru. Like, it's not, Guru is not a position. Guru is not a person. Gurutva, therefore I usually, say Gurutva. Otherwise, Guru Tattva. Guru Tattva can be any form.
Any form.
Any form. Even a hitting can be a Guru. And so when you got hit, so a person in a fight, in my life it happened really. Both brothers were fighting. They were neighbors. Okay? Both brothers were fighting a lot. So when in the fight, it becomes very serious. So one more neighbor who wants to make them peace, who interfere them, he got it. He got it. Thereafter, what happened, the miracle had happened. The person who got hit, he was always scolding his children. He stopped when he got hit. And children themselves, they started feeling Papa is not scolding us, not beating us. It was a Guru. Because when he got hit, he thought, my sons should not be like this. It's a kind of teaching. Therefore, a slap can be a teaching, a hitting can be a teaching. Having, to visit a place, the place can, give certain language. Guru Tattva is in all form.
So in our conversations which we began today as a seeker that we all are, and we started with what is Guru, who is Guru. So the answer to this is a very profound answer, that we are not talking about Guru as a person, but we are talking about Guru Tattva, which can come in any form in your life. It can come in the form of a person, it can come in the form of an incident, it can come in the form of any nature itself to become your teacher, to become your guide. So with this Guru Tattva knowledge and understanding that we have given, which is a very different way of looking at the Guru word, which otherwise is being misspelt as someone with power, someone who tries to overpower your mind, and we surrender our mind to our Guru, is what people try to create this as a picture across this whole, what I would like to put it across very differently is, we all are living in a world where the word Guru is being propounded as somebody who eventually rules your mind. But in your verdict today, I see that you have brought a very different and a very profound dimension to the word Guru. It is not about a person, but it is all about the Guru Tattva, which can come in any form. Swamiji, we are so blessed today that the subject, what we started with, to know more about you, to understand more about you, was with a contention that we, the devotees that we are of our beloved mother, Lalitambika Tripura Sundari, about whom you have given us all the knowledge, and we wanted to know more about you, because we wanted many more people who are seekers to know about our Pūjya Swamiji.
Rukarastandhakaro vai rukarastanivartakaha andhakara nirodhitvat gururitya vidhiyate.
So it was not just about removing the darkness, but what you have given a definition of Guru is in a very profound way, that it is all about Guru Tattva, which pierces the people, the seeker, the devotee, to their conscious level. The devotee probably may not even know that he is actually getting transformed into what he is, to the level of what he should be in the form of his complete surrender to the Guru Tattva. One more very interesting thing what you brought out was that it is a Guru Tattva which can come in any form. It can be just one simple incident that can happen in somebody's life, and that itself can become a teacher to him. It can happen in the form of anybody meeting you in your life and can become your teacher to you. So this new understanding that seekers are going to have today is a very, very different, very, very profound understanding. I would like to talk to all my viewers here and give them a humble suggestion and request to continue to follow this podcast, because we are going to continue our questions with Swamiji, and there are many more questions to go. We are looking forward to have 52 different episodes on different questions that are going to be coming. Please continue to follow our Arsha Vidya Vilasam Foundation Supreme YouTube channel. Subscribe to it, and I'm sure you will have many more questions in your mind getting answered with Pūjya Swamiji. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutav Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavidyan Kadabhavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Harihi Om to everyone. Today we are beginning a new adventure. One of our students, Shri Mangeshji, who was kept on requesting for a podcast in which we can bring knowledge about Upanishads and Śrī Vidyā, even jyotiṣa, and about yoga, because this India, it's a treasure of abundance knowledge. Therefore, with the blessings of Mother Rajarajeshwarita Mahatripura Sundari, so we are setting a series of podcasts through which the knowledge of Sanatana Dharma will be spreaded over. And whoever is fortunate is to pursue this, watch this, may get complete knowledge of our Sanatana Dharma, more clarity to make a decision of the life. My blessings, completely you may grow and to be healthy, wealthy, and completely eternal happiest life to set. Hari.